it. So
sure.
Anyway, man, I appreciate you. This is awesome.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. So guys, Ricky Carruth here. Welcome to this week's show. Today I'm going to interview a very special guest, Evan Carmichael. This guy is an author, a YouTuber. His book, Your One Word, is out. It's incredible. And this guy has over 900,000 YouTube subscribers, creeping up to 1 million. So it's a pleasure and very much honor to even have any of his time and be able to ask him a couple questions and whatnot. So Evan, I guess I wanted to start out and maybe ask you how you got started with this and kind of a little bit, maybe a brief kind of summary, because I really don't know myself.
My story?
Yeah.
So, you know, I had a biotech software company, built it, sold it when I was 22, and then just got asked to speak at a whole bunch of different events, kind of a young entrepreneur success story kind of thing. And I really liked the idea of helping other entrepreneurs. I liked the idea of giving back. I struggled a lot in my first business and just really liked that idea of being able to contribute back. And it wasn't YouTube where I started. It was more public speaking. It was my website. And I started making YouTube videos without the intention of being YouTube famous. It wasn't really a thing, I guess, back then when I started. It was more people would ask me questions. I guess like you, like people ask you questions to say, hey, Ricky, how do I do this? And I would respond to people on email, and it would take 30 to 40 minutes. You know, I'd write a really detailed email. And it's flattering when people are asking you questions at the start. But then it started to get, you know, like too many questions coming in, didn't have enough time to respond to everybody. And I thought, hey, how about I make a video that will help, you know, the people that are asking me that question. And there's probably, you know, thousands of other people have the same question. And so if I put it online, I can just send them there. And as I did more of it, I liked it more, got more into it, started making more videos. We've got 5,000 plus videos that I've recorded. And yeah, coming up on 1 million subscribers. And it just, I fell into it. It was a test thing, just to answer some questions, and I fell in love with it and went all in.
That is amazing, man, that it was like out of necessity instead of, you know, it wasn't like you decided I'm going to do YouTube. It was like just kind of happened.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people can fall into things. I think people can fall into real estate too. Like they try it and like, you know what? I love this. I love talking to people. I love selling. I love the hustle and the grind. And other people start and they're like, you know what? Like, it's not for me. It's too hard. I want to do something else. Wow.
When did you actually start your YouTube channel?
I don't know. It's similar to you. Like I had the account, you know.
Or when did you really start to try to grow it, I guess?
You know, probably 2 years ago. I don't know. I'm so like now and future and not very much like what I did. Yeah. So I don't know, like my stats you can find online. It's probably the past couple of years though where I've like actually taken it seriously.
I'm the same way, man. I don't look back at all. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you much of what happened in the past. Yeah, just what I was wondering that just because I'm just trying to figure out like how long it takes to get 1 million YouTube subscribers.
That's like anything else, man. Like, hey, Ricky, how long does it take to sell 100 houses? Like,
well,
how much time are you putting in, right?
Yeah,
like,
you know. Like some people do get there in like 5 years. It took me 14 years to get to where I sold 100 properties in a year. Let's see. Like, I was wondering, you know, with that many subscribers and so much, like you did the videos so that you could, because you were getting so many questions, so you did that. So now with 1 million subscribers, I'm sure you get millions of comments and stuff, notifications. How do you handle all that?
So at the beginning, I did everything myself, and I think you need to. You know, I think you just need to answer everything yourself, and it's good to be involved in the community. And at the beginning, it feels great. Like someone leaves a comment. If you're just getting started and somebody leaves a comment and says, hey, Ricky, that was a great video. Like it makes you feel good. Like, hey, I worked hard on that. I got some results. It's more of a hobby at the beginning. You're just testing things out. Like you're not making any money from it. But then as it grows, what most YouTubers do is they just forget about their comments, or they kind of pay attention to them, or they spend half an hour a day on them, and whoever they answer, they answer. I just think that's bad business. You know, like if somebody's calling you up as a realtor and saying, hey, Ricky, you know, I want to hire you. As you grow, like that's why you hire an assistant. Right? Because like maybe you're showing a property and you don't want the phone just to go to voicemail and then nobody ever gets back to that person. right? So it's just basics of business I don't think a lot of YouTubers are doing. So I have 2 people on my team, and that's what they do, is they respond to comments. They respond to the people who are coming in. They save the ones for me that I need to pay attention to, and most of them they deal with themselves.
Cool. So you have like a team that helps you monitor them, and then the most important ones they'll save for you.
Yeah, once a week on a Thursday in the morning, I look at the list that they save for me. We just do it through Evernote. They drop it in there, and I respond. And the other ones they take care of. A lot of them are just, hey, that's a great video, or hey, thank you for making this, or whatever. And that's great. Like, I don't need to see all those. I love it. Like, I'll flip through them. But it's more like, hey, can you do this? Here's a tweak. Here's a suggestion. Can you make a video on this? Like, those are the ones, the more, how do I improve? How do I get better? What do you guys want to see? What are you asking for? That's more the ones that I really want to pay attention to.
Sure. So I know, or, I've paid attention to you lately, and you do the live, and, I'm on my way to 1 million subscribers and stuff like that. But in the beginning, did you even care how many subscribers you had, or were you trying to get a lot of subscribers, or what was your mentality?
No, I didn't. I didn't want to be YouTube famous. Even now, like, I want to hit 1 million. That's great, but it's not why I do it. Right? So after 1 million, whatever, what's the next goal? 10 million, there are faster ways to get to 1 million and 10 million than what I'm doing right now. I just don't want to do those things. Like, it's against what I stand for. Right. Because everything is positive. It's always optimistic. It's always, the good side, where if I was showing people fighting, or 10 reasons to hate Steve Jobs, or like, I could drive a lot more traffic because people like the hype and the negativity a lot more. It's just not what I want to do. So I would say, the 1 million subscribers is a good goal, but it's not my reason for being. Like, I love the work more than I love hitting the goal.
Do you think that, what was the magic number of subscribers you get that was hard to get to? And then after that, it was like subscribers just started coming.
I don't know that there's a magic number. I think it really just depends on, once I started making money, then I can invest more into the channel. And as I invested more into the channel, I made more content and better content, and I got more subscribers. So it's not so much like once you hit 10,000 subs, like that's when things take off for you. It's really just a function of how much time you're putting in to do it. And then I believe the quantity leads to the quality. So the more you do it, the better you're going to get. If you're showing 100 houses a year, like, you're just going to get better. Like, you better get better at it.
Yeah.
Like, there's something wrong with you if you're not getting better at it with each time, right? So I've made 5,000 videos. Like, I better be better at it than when I first started. And so it was really, for people who are starting their own YouTube channel, at what point can you afford to actually put more time and effort into it? And for me, once I started making some money, I started selling my first brand deals at, I don't know, 30, 40,000 subscribers, where companies were coming to me and said, hey, we want to work with you on something. Like, really? That's cool. Let's do something. It's like, I'm making money off of this. I should spend more time. Let's look at my YouTube strategy here. And so as I put more time in, I just got better results.
Sure. So when you say invest in your YouTube channel, are you talking about invest in better cameras and stuff of that nature?
Nah, that stuff doesn't really matter too much. Like, I have 8 people on my team, and I'm sure my camera guy would be yelling at me right now for saying that. But like, the gear doesn't matter as much. I still film. Yesterday was my film day. I filmed a good chunk of my videos off my phone.
Yeah.
With no microphone. Like this. That's it. Like, hey guys, boom, film. I mean, that's a channel with almost 1 million subscribers, and I'm still packing some of those out. The ones that I filmed with him, he's got a red, like the Red Dragon. It's one of the most expensive cameras you can use to film. But like, it doesn't, if I put his camera and my camera, we might get a different audience comments, but it's like, it's me. Like, the biggest factor is me. So I need to get better. So the investment more that I'm talking about is when you first start anything, you're going to suck, and you got to put the time in to get better. You know, to do an open house, I'm sure you know how to do it. Like, back your hand, people come in, you read their body language, you know how to address them. Like, all those little things that come with experience that you can know really quickly, that a rookie agent coming in is going to be nervous and flustered and not know how to deal with certain situations. And so it's just getting as much experience as possible. So making more videos, like getting more comfortable in front of the camera. It took me a full day to make one video at the beginning. Where now, like, yesterday was recording day, we banged out 60 videos.
Right. So basically, with the investment, you're talking about not monetary necessarily, but time put in.
Yeah, I mean, and time is opportunity cost. Like, it's time spent on YouTube versus time spent becoming a better real estate agent, time spent prospecting customers, time spent, right? So it's like your time is limited. How are you going to spend your time? If you want to get good at anything, you gotta invest the time to be good at it, to practice, right? So if YouTube is going to be part of your strategy, I think YouTube is a much more, if I'm looking at a real estate world, I think it's a much more effective get the listing strategy than sell my house strategy in terms of building up an audience. I think most realtors look at it as, how do I market this property? If I was a real estate agent, I'd be using YouTube to get more listings more than how to market this property. And so making sure that you're getting an ROI off of the time that you're spending. And that sometimes can be hard to justify if you just, looking at YouTube versus going to other platforms.
Right. Is there, what, I mean, since we're got on the real estate subject for a second, like what advice would you have for real estate agents, like in a geographical area, that want to try to grow their audience geographically where they are and, grow their business on YouTube?
Yeah. So I think it really, you have to think about what do you want to be known for? Right? What are you going to be known for? And YouTube becomes part of your strategy. So like if we're on this call and you let off saying like my audience is real estate agents, I'm thinking, okay, how do I turn it into a business? It would have to be some kind of real estate coaching. Like, can you sell real estate coaching? Can you sell real estate e-courses, training, mastermind, something? Because otherwise, if I'm a real estate agent, I don't want other real estate agents. I want homeowners. I want to get the listing. I don't want, sure, real estate agents give you my partnerships and stuff like that, but I want to grow my business. And so maybe that's part of your career down the line, is like, I want to inspire real estate agents to sell my training and my courses. Sure. But if I'm a real estate agent and I'm looking at how do I grow in my geographic area, I'd be looking at, so like, where are you from? Where do you sell? I'm actually in South Alabama, right on the beach. Okay. So I would try to be the preeminent place to talk about all South Alabama stuff. And I'm not worried about getting 1 million subscribers, because 1 million people don't care about South Alabama. Sure. But what I'm doing is making a show where every week I would be talking to local businesses, local community, whatever's happening in your area, the schools, the local government, all that stuff, and doing a weekly show highlighting what's happening in South Alabama. To be the expert, to be the most plugged in person in South Alabama. And then when you're going to talk to local businesses, for example, right? You say, hey, I want to profile you. Hey, I heard you came out with this new hot dog that you're selling on your menu. I want to profile you and tell your story, how long you've been here. It's an easy yes, because they get exposure, right? Like, everybody wants to be interviewed and be featured on somebody's channel, especially entrepreneurs. So you get the easy yes. And what you've now is just, you've built a relationship. The next time they're thinking about real estate, who are they going to talk to? They're going to talk to Ricky, because he was that guy who gave them a solid, right? And so you're constantly just helping other people out. As you get to know different business owners, you're connecting them to each other. All those business owners are also homeowners. Maybe you're talking about what's happening in the local, PTA or anything that's happening in your area. I would want to be the most plugged in, most well-known person in my community, and I'm going to get all the listings. But it's not a big strategy. It's not this is South Alabama only. I don't care about, like, I may never get 20,000 subscribers, but I'm going to get a crap ton of listings and grow my business. Right. So yeah. No, so that's like, if I want to grow my local thing, if I want to grow my local business, the next thing is thinking about, if it's a bigger scale, like, what do you want to get known for? Do you want to be known as the modern guy, where all you do is profile modern homes? And I don't know how far geographically you can go with those sales. Like, can you stretch outside? Can you go statewide? Can you go to the next state? The restrictions. Are you the investment property guy, where you're going to be teaching people how to make money off of the real estate investments? Like, whatever you want to be known for, that's what you want to create content around. And the good news is there's nobody doing South Alabama stuff. Like, you will be the go-to resource for everything South Alabama. And it's much more valuable than taking out, advertisements at a bus stop and giving out magnets and flyers and pens, because everybody's doing that. And here you're actually creating value in conversations. Like, the more people you talk to and add value to, the more they're going to remember your name and pass it on to others. Right. The problem that I ran into with mine
I'm not doing that. I'm growing mine more around like what you're saying, inspiration and motivating realtors and stuff like that. I'm up to like 350 subscribers over maybe 3 or 4 months, and I've been pounding it. I've been posting every other day, at least. A lot of weeks I do post every single day, a good video. But if somebody's trying to grow a brand on YouTube for their real estate geographical business, they have just a few subscribers. They're getting almost 0 views. How do they use it? Because I know it takes a while of really pounding it to even get a small audience. Do you just pound away and just keep pounding, or is there something, you distribute it somewhere, or how would you become known with that? Because I know a lot of realtors might do that for 6 months or so, and say, I'm only getting 20 views a video. I'm not really getting much traction here.
It depends, again, what your strategy is. I think the highest leverage that you can get from YouTube as a realtor is getting the listing. Mm-hmm. And if that's my strategy, then I'm not really focused on views or subscribers. I'm focused on how many listings am I getting out of these conversations that I'm creating. Mm-hmm. So if I'm you, now it depends. Like if your goal is I want to build a business where I'm an inspiration to other realtors, and again, I'm going to sell my coaching and my training and my systems the way that I sell to them, then that's a different model. But if you put it in the perspective of I want to grow my local South Alabama real estate practice, then I don't want to have inspiring messages that other realtors are going to be looking at. Like that's not interesting for me, right?
Yeah.
So for realtors who are trying to do this, what you do is you go and you knock on the door of some business and you say, hey, I want to interview you. I'm a realtor. I have this channel that focuses on South Alabama. I'd love to profile your business and tell your story. And like 50% of people will say yes. Not everybody's going to say yes, but you'll get a huge chunk. It's not like you're asking to list their home and you're going to have like a 0.5% chance, right? A lot of people will say yes. That's a new connection that you've made that you haven't made before. You make a video of it. If it's a good video, right, they'll share it. They'll put it in their newsletter. They'll tell their friends about it. They'll tell their customers about it. Maybe they link to it somewhere, right? They share it on their social. And every time you do that, you got some people who are spreading the word and sharing it. But all I care about is the local market. Like if somebody in West New York signs up as a subscriber for my channel, it doesn't serve me unless I have a bigger game of wanting to, right, do something else. But if I'm selling to South Alabama, I don't care about people who are outside South Alabama. And so my metric is not going to be subscribers and views. It's going to be listings. Am I getting new listings?
Right. Well, that's for my audience. Most of them are realtors. They might be wondering from you how to actually create a brand on YouTube for the geographical market. I'm a different strategy. Yeah. Personally, I am trying to do coaching and inspire realtors, and I tell my story. I've been through a lot to get where I'm at, and I'm actually doing it. So, I mean, on the flip side, a different strategy of wanting to go mainstream for something like that. What would be your advice there?
So if it's looking for you, who's like, hey, I want to inspire realtors, and that's something that can be nationwide, right? Like international, right? I'm in Toronto, Canada. A lot of the strategies that you use are relevant for Canadian realtors as well, right? There might be some specific laws or things, but like most of the things are going to be international. Most people don't even know I'm Canadian, right? Because it's all the content is all relevant. I'd be looking at what does my audience really care about and what can I really provide them. So as an example, how to run a perfect open house, right? Like, is that what people care about? The 5 signs to look for somebody coming in to know if they're a buyer or not, or they're wasting your time. Like all the things that you wish you learned when you were getting started that now you're like decades in on your career here, or 16 years or whatever you said, right? Like all of that stuff that you wish you learned as a newbie coming in. And you can build it around your audience too. If people start asking questions, and if you don't have an audience yet, or it's like you're not getting questions coming in yet, look at your local. Are you under Remax, or you're under you're with a broker, right?
Oh yeah. Look, man, I have in my coaching program, I already have 100 agents that are paying me. I've got a group on Facebook of about 4,000 agents. Remax just flew me to Kansas City to do a big speech for about 500 agents earlier this week.
So whatever the most common questions that keep coming up, like these guys don't want to see, and I'm not super familiar with your content, so I'm
sure
just just talking. But you know, they don't want to see house listings, right? They don't want to say, hey, here's it, unless you're giving them knowledge. That's just saying like, okay, guys, when I sell this house, you see as I walked into this master, and then like the 8 things that immediately come to mind because you know what you're doing and everybody else doesn't, right? Like, you see how the bed's positioned? No. We need to put a quilt over there, and we got to highlight this accent here because if these, you know, right? Like all that stuff, the expert eye can be really helpful. The inspiration can be great, answering specific questions that people have. Like if you have good content, eventually you win. It's a matter of just creating the good content, right? And you know, you deserve to be where you are. Like I deserve to be at where I'm at. I don't deserve to be more. I don't deserve to have 10 million subscribers because I'm not good enough to get there yet. Like I need to get better as a speaker. I'm not Tony Robbins level or Les Brown level or whoever, you know, would be above me. But I also worked hard and deserve, like I've created enough value to get what I've got. And so if you're looking at what your best videos are, like what's your best video of all time?
Let's see. I have one that I did. It was a Q&A that I have 2 that are pretty good. One is the mindset of a listing agent, and then I have another one I did of stop overthinking everything. So
it looks like a combination of general motivation stuff and then also like tactics. Like here's what you need to do as an agent. And so we're looking at how do I learn from my best wins? What was so great about those videos? And continue, like rinse and repeat, continue. Get questions from your audience. You have 100 paying members already talking into you. Like what are the common things that they all struggle with, and then make videos addressing it.
Right.
I would say make each video more important, like raise the stakes. Sometimes it's hard when you're talking to a camera, like you're at a property, maybe you got some time to kill. It's like, hey, I'm going to shoot a video, you know, as opposed to when you're on stage, it's a different presence, right? You got to carry that stage into the camera because you're talking to more people in your phone than you are on stage.
Right.
You don't realize, like, I was a switch for me. You feel like you're talking to more people when you're on stage, but you're actually talking to more people when you're talking into your phone.
Right.
And so if you go in with that mindset, like I'm talking to 10,000 people right here, you make it more important. If it's more important, they'll feel it. And they'll want to catch the vibe and catch your energy. Because you could be saying the greatest points in the world, but if you don't have the energy behind it, you're not going to catch them, right?
Right. It's almost like the old saying, it doesn't really matter what you say, but how you say it. But it still matters what you say to a certain extent.
Sure. And that's where you're like, listen, you've done this for X number of years, right? Like you're saying stuff that works, right? And if you look back on my videos, go back 5-6 years, a lot of the content that I talk about is still the same. The points are still the same. I haven't radically shifted my position on a lot of things. I'm just way better at delivering it. There's more passion, there's more excitement, there's more urgency to push people towards taking action versus what I was doing before.
Right.
And that just comes from practice, watching the videos. Like it took me hundreds of videos, I forget what the number was, like 300 videos or something, before I wasn't absolutely embarrassed by myself. Like embarrassed. Like I would watch my video back and be like, that is just embarrassing. Like I want to remove that video.
Yeah.
Right? 300 plus videos before I could just kind of watch my own stuff, right? Like how many people give up way before that, right? And it took me till 750 or so until I was actually inspired by I inspired myself, finally. 750 videos in, right? It's crazy. And so people just quit too soon. And you just got to make it better every day. Like if you really want to make this good, I think YouTube is one of the best platforms available right now. One of the easiest ways to reach tons of people, especially if you are half decent on video. It's the best way to build a business. Both as long as you're using it right? Like the people watching, don't do this. Like build your local business. Forget about subscribers. Focus on listings. Use YouTube to get you listings, period. That's your metric. Grow your business.
Right.
For you, I want to build a national brand. It's a different approach, right? It's just the people who are really good at it, like the people who are fantastic. I shouldn't exist. Like CNN should have done what I'm doing. Tony Robbins should have done what I'm doing. I shouldn't exist. I exist because those guys aren't doing it. And so I can build 1 million people subscriber base where most TV shows don't have that many fans because it's just such an opportunity on YouTube versus everywhere else. So you could be less talented and win because you're just using a better platform.
Yeah.
right? And hopefully you gain your talent as you get better, right? You grow your talent, you get better, you improve.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd be looking at like what your output is. I'd be looking at if you really want to build this thing up into a national brand that people really pay attention to. It's like, how do I, all the practice that you did to become a great real estate agent, and how to put on a great open house and guide people through, and all that work you did, now put that into how do I make a great video.
Right.
So how do I be fire for 10 minutes on a YouTube video? And again, I don't know your style. I don't know if you're going off the cuff or you're just kind of thinking, or it's a conversation or whatever. But I'd be looking at, like, this matters. Like the preparation that you take to go in to speak at that event with 500 realtors, you're putting that kind of hustle and preparation into the next video you're going to make for your YouTube channel.
Right.
Right? Most people don't. You put a lot of work into the open house, into guiding people through, and you go through yourself when you look at it, and you practice yourself before walking somebody through. You practice before you go speak on stage, but then you take out the phone and you just film a video, and you're asking, like, why are my videos not doing better? Well, you got to practice. You got to put in the work, the hustle.
Right.
It's like everything in between. I'm talking to 100,000 people right here. If you take that mindset, then you'll get better, and you'll put the work in to improve.
Right. Are you, is YouTube the only platform that you really concentrate on, or are you trying to grow other social medias?
At the moment, it's my favorite. I started actually on LinkedIn, moved to Facebook, moved to Twitter, moved to YouTube. That's been my progression through. It's just, we have limited time. You focus on where you're getting results. And I started getting results on those platforms, and didn't feel like it was the place. It wasn't getting as good results as I should. And YouTube is just, it's a home run. Like, there's a window right now to really crush it on YouTube before all the big guys come in. There's still a huge opportunity to do it. And I'm just running as fast as I can through that window. And when that closes, like, I don't care about YouTube. Like, I'll move to something else.
Right.
Once YouTube gets oversaturated, it'll be VR, it'll be, something else. Like, that's where I'll go. But for now, there's still a big window with YouTube. And as long as that's open, I'm running as fast as I can. Interesting.
I guess one last question. I know you talk about posting every day.
Yeah.
Like how, and I know you believe that that's probably the #1 thing to grow subscriber base. How really important is that? And how important are, like, the keywords that you type in at the bottom when you upload your videos?
So if you're looking at just from an algorithm perspective, like some of the, now we're into the tactics, forget about you getting better. Like, if you did once a day, you would get better and the quality would rise, right? Forget about that. Just from a YouTube algorithm, the 2 most important things to pay attention to is not going to be SEO. It's going to be, 1, daily content. And I would look at how do I move it beyond daily to twice a day. If you go from once a week to once a day, you'll see a big explosion in your channel. Once a day to twice a day, another big explosion. 2 to 3, I'm at 3. 2 to 3, it's still a growth, but not as big a jump. So I'd be looking at, even if you're not there yet, like maybe you're doing once a week and it's like, once a day sounds really tough. It just make that your goal. Like, by 6 months, I want to be at once a day, and you plan towards getting there. Because again, the more you do it, the faster you could bang out a video. I did 60 videos yesterday, right? Just, it's the repetition allows you to do it faster. So that's 1, like, have a goal to get to daily, and 2, 10-minute plus videos. Anything that, like, if you're doing 3-minute videos, it's really, really, really hard to get it ranked and to drive traffic to it. Interesting. Good tip. Yeah. So now it's harder. Like, it's harder to make 10-minute versus 3 minutes. And you don't want the quality to massively drop off. Like, if you only have 3 minutes of talking points and then you're sitting there for 7 minutes with nothing to say, that's not going to help you. But it's learning to do 10-minute quality videos on a regular basis. I would focus on 10 minutes first and then the quantity. So like weekly 10-minute videos, moving it to then daily 10-minute videos, or like twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, etc. Until you get the daily 10-minute videos. Just from an algorithm perspective, where things are at, like in this moment, they may change in 6 months, but that's what YouTube really cares the most about. And I wouldn't care too much about tags, descriptions, keywords. Like, yes, having a good thumbnail, yes, having a good title, those, from anything, those 2 will be the most important, but the tags and descriptions really don't play a huge impact. Well, out of, like, you know, your channel's all inspirational, entrepreneurship. You've
done like the top 10 for so many people and all that stuff. From all the stuff that you've done, all the stuff that you've read, all the different people that you've analyzed, what are maybe the top 2 or 3 characteristics or, you know, motivational things that you can think of out of everything that you've studied and seen and researched?
Yeah, so it's fun. It's my next book. This is like the top 10 rules for success, the book. It's coming out. That's not the real cover, but yeah, it's a common question, and some of the ones that keep coming up over and over and over. One, you have to have an absolute passion for what you're doing. You have to love it, and it's the most oversaid thing probably. But like YouTube, if you don't love YouTube, you're gonna get crushed. Like some realtor who loves YouTube is just gonna come on and crush you. If you try to be a real estate agent because Inc. magazine said being a real estate agent is the hottest thing to do in 2017 or 2018, like you'll get crushed by people like you who are good at it and who love it, right? You have to have a deep passion for what you're doing. I think the consistency, the follow through, like, yes, you have an idea, you have a dream, but it's execution, right? Like you spend 5% of your time dreaming and 95% of your time doing, executing, taking action. Or I think too many people just get stuck in the planning and the thinking and the dreaming and like one day and I want to do that and I need that big house. And it's like, but you're not doing anything, right? Like 5% of your time dreaming and 95 doing, executing daily, every day. And then I think like coming up with what that idea is, right? So figuring out the plan for your life, figuring out what, you know, either the big vision you have and also breaking it down into smaller steps, being able to understand like, okay, my goal this year is to sell 100 houses, or my goal this year is to get 500 people signed up for my membership course or whatever. Having a clear goal allows you to kind of make progress towards it.
Man, that's amazing.
I can help.
Passion, consistency, and a plan or an idea or a goal. I like what you said a lot about people that take so much time to like research and try to learn, and they never actually like use any of it to take action and actually do the things that they're wanting to do. So I see that all the time. And excuses, you know, they use so many excuses about, you know, they're still trying to figure out what to do or try to learn, and all they do is spend time learning and trying to research. So I definitely see that all the time. Well, I think we had 30 minutes, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, man, I appreciate your time so much. I don't know how to thank you for this. You know,
just keep doing it, man. I love seeing, you know, YouTubers build up and grow, and I'm excited to see where you're going to take this, man. I want to see Ricky being the next million subscriber YouTube channel for real estate agents.
I'm going to send you one of my vlogs sometime. So if you get a chance, check it out and let me know what you think.
All right. Will do, man. Looking forward to it.
Okay, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. Cheers.
All right. See you later.